Yeah. He's finally stopped doing, since we were gone for 2 weeks and he was at my parents' house. I think some of you heard me say that he was waking me up every night around like 3 a.m. So that has started to subside. So now he waits until the sun comes up and then it's time. So, who needs an alarm clock?
Like a true
Great.
child.
Yes,
I
exactly.
got woken up this morning by my cat screaming into the shower. So just probably an echo chamber of her, like just in there yelling.
Hi, Brittany. We're once again free yoga cat stories. Apparently, that's just what we do here.
Why not?
Oh no, I think it's great. All right, well, it's about 12:05. So as promised, I said that we would do a class that was a little slow and low today, as I feel like post-holiday, that's always kind of the vibe that you're looking for. Um, we'll do some side openers, a little leg lengthening. We'll move enough to get warm enough to do those things, but this class isn't intended to produce heat. It's really intended to produce some grounding, calm, but also at the same time expansiveness. We are going to start seated, and you can cross your legs. Let's all start in the same place with our left in front of our right, just so we have a little bit of consistency when we switch. Okay, first things first, let's just come into our seat, arrive, place both of your palms on your knees, wiggle around a little bit on your seat, maybe come forward so you're not sitting back too much. Lift up through your sternum and the crown of your head. Open up across your collarbones, just so you're not rolling your shoulder forward. It doesn't have anything to be too forceful, but you want that just light, expansive, clear feeling across your heart. Then you can start to use the tension between the base of your seat and the crown of your head to fortify your posture. You may keep your eyes open if you wish, or close them down. Start to tune in to your body and your breath. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Relax tension in your jaw. Smooth out your forehead. Let's take 3 grounding breaths together to help us arrive. Inhale deeply from the base of your seat all the way up into your lungs. With that same control, exhale, release. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, pull breath in. Exhale, sigh out. Last one here. Exhale, release. If you want to flutter your eyes open, if they were closed, we'll add a little bit of movement. Inhale your arms out and up, broaden across your collarbones as you pull your hands above your head. Exhale, hands come through center. 2 more, linking breath with movement. All 4 sides of your lungs, rib cage expand as you inhale, and then pull through midline. Let's go one more time. This time we'll pause at the top. And on your exhale, take your right hand down to the earth, maybe even come down to your right elbow, and then you'll press down and away with your right forearm or just your right hand. Left arm is reaching up and over to your left. So you've got a big expansion happening between left armpit, your left shoulder, and left hip. Oh, reach a little bit further, send energy out through your fingertips as much as possible. And then let's come back through center. Change the cross of your legs. We'll take 3 breaths once Again, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale through center. Really keep your focus on your breath, the sensations that are happening in your body as you breathe. As your presence becomes more on the mat than it does out elsewhere. Bring your hands up above your head, hold there. Left hand comes down to the mat, either on your left hand or left forearm. Press down into your forearm, reach your right arm over to the side as much as you can. Get it as straight as possible. Turn your right ribs back so you're not turning towards the earth. And if that's difficult for you, maybe come up to your hand and that will become more possible. So we're looking for a stretch here on your right ribs. You probably feel it in your right hip too, or at least I do. And then let's breathe ourselves back up to center. Take your hands to your knees, both palms on your knees. We'll take big hip circles here. Reach your ribs forward and around. And as you come back, draw navel to spine, round your back. As you reach forward, reach your hips back, heart forward. You're kind of coming into cat pose in the back, and then cow pose as we come forward. Take one more full circle, and then change once again. Last time, cross your legs. Let's go the other way. Whichever way you went last time, it really doesn't matter. We're just going to switch it up. Ooh, hip pop. You're just taking this time to check in, see how everything feels without passing any judgments. Next time you come around to the top, we'll pause and come forward into hands and knees. Let's take some cat-cow here, starting with our structure. Press down into your hands, chin to chest, round your upper back. Press your hands down and forward. On the inhale, we'll find cow pose. Energetically pull your hands towards your knees, reach your heart forward. Press down into your hands, reach up, and then into cow pose. Now, if you want to add some motion, take your hips back in circles, come forward and check in with your shoulders. You can go any rhythm or pattern that feels organic to you right now. And it's quite possible that the pattern that feels good to you is just your basic cat-cow, and I encourage you to stick with that if that's what feels right. So let's take a couple more breaths. Exploratory movements, articulating the spine. And then come to some stillness. Take a breath in here. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes. Move your hands one whole handprint forward, and then lift your hips up and slide them back as you straighten your legs as much as you can. They probably will still have a little bit of a bend in them if your spine is straight, and that's really what we're looking for, straight spine over straight legs. Now, it probably feels good to bend one knee at a time, so I highly encourage that action. Oh yeah, my ankles are always so noisy. Okay, now for feet hip width apart. Lift your heels over your toes and take your heels over to the right. We're gonna do a side stretch together. Walk your left hand out so you're on your left fingertips, and then look underneath your left armpit. You might bend your knees a little bit, point them towards the left side of the mat, get a little extra stretch, or you might not. And then place your left hand back in line with your right. Heels lift as they come through center over to the left. Right hand walks away just a bit on your fingertips. Look underneath your right shoulder. Right ribs turning back energetically, if nothing else. And then back to center. Okay, heels lift above toes once again. Tuck your chin, round the space behind your heart as you roll forward into plank. Feel the strength as you arrive into plank. Press into your fingertips, draw navel to spine, and press your feet a lot into the earth. Like you're gonna press them away from each other. You can feel the strength activate. And then when I say use your legs as brakes, this is what I mean. So maintain that strength in your legs, bend your elbows, and carefully lower to the earth. Whole body hits the mat at the same time. Let's take 3 rounds of cobra pose. Fingertips on the outside edges of your mat. Shoulders loop. This first one can just be our entry point. Lengthen the front of your body and release. Again, tops of feet press down and back. Knees are up. Heart lifts. Back of neck stays long. Maybe come up a little bit higher. And then soften. Last one. Shoulders loop. Lift up as high as you can. Maybe take a look from side to side. And then soften back to the earth. Through plank or knee plank or child's pose, come back to downward dog. Cleansing breath. Deep inhale, pull the biggest breath in that you have all day. And as you exhale, open your mouth, stick your tongue out, and make some noise. That felt great. Take another one. Fantastic. Now lift your right leg straight back and up. Let your hip come open as you lift your right leg. And then exhale, draw your knee into center. Lift from center, shift forward. Place your right foot between your hands. Ground your back heel so your heel to arch alignment. Follow your left hand up and over for warrior two. We're going to keep going. Right arm reaches up and over. Front knee bends. Exhale, right elbow comes on the inside of right knee. Left arm reaches up and over. Your hands will come together. You pull yourself back up to warrior two. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Square your hips, right foot to meet left. Before you lower down, take your heels to the right. Keep your gaze to the top of the mat. Shoulders over wrists, heels through center, over to the left. Back into center, creases of elbows forward and lower to the earth. Cobra pose, fingertips to the outside, peel yourself away and release. Through plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. Left leg, inhale, breathe your left leg up and back. Again, feel free to let your hips open here, find that expansive quality. And exhale, knee to chest. Lift from center, foot to thumb, or foot between your hands, right underneath your nose. Back heel grounds, right arm up and over, broad across your collarbones. Left arm reaches up and over. Bend your front knee as you find reverse warrior. Exhale, left elbow on the inside of left knee. Right arm reaches towards the sky, forward, and then your strong core pulls you back to center. Both hands down to the mat. Step into plank. Press a lot into your fingertips, shoulders over wrists. Let's take heels to the right, through center, and to the left. Back to center. And then slowly come down to the mat. Cobra pose. Heart opens. Exhale, release. Through plank or knee plank. Back to downward dog. One breath to lift your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, strong core as you pull your knee up. Shift forward, foot between your hands. Back heel down. Left arm sweeps up and over. Right arm follows. Exhale. Right elbow on the inside. Just keep a long line from the crown of your head to your left heel. Rise. Settle your hands to the mat. Place them firmly. Use control to bring your right foot back. This time, we're going to change it up just slightly. Tuck your chin. Keep your shoulders over your wrists and round your upper back. And then pulse back out to neutral. Let's do that one more time. Without lifting your hips, draw in from center and then back to neutral. Return to the earth. Peel yourself away. Release. And then back to downward dog. Left leg, one breath. Inhale up. Exhale with strength. Pull your knee into center. Foot between your hands. Heel to arch alignment. Keep your front knee bent. Find warrior two. And then reverse warrior. Looking for that easy flowing movement, yet still strong and grounded. Exhale, hands to the mat. Shoulders over hands. Same thing here, chin to chest. Press the earth down, lift the space behind your heart, and then sternum forward, heels back. Again, shoulders stay over wrist. Tuck your chin. Heels and sternum reach in opposite directions. Now lower down. I know I said I'd do a grounding practice today, and I promise the rest of it will be. We want to generate just a little bit of warmth. All right, last time, right leg, inhale back. Exhale, knee to chest, shift forward. Left heel grounds. Left hand up and over. Right hand sweeps above your head. Elbow on the inside of your knee. Left arm over. Pull yourself up with strength. Arms stretch out. Hands down to the mat. Control is the name of the game as you bring your right foot back to meet your left. Now I want you to lift for one breath. Left foot up to the height of your hip. Lower down. Now right foot, height of your hip. Lower down. Return to the earth. Feel the freedom and ease of Cobra. And then the strength and resilience back to plank or knee plank. Left side, inhale, move. Exhale, knee to chest. Step forward. Follow your right arm up. Expansion here. Big space between left shoulder and left hip. Exhale, elbow to the inside of your knee. Right arm up and over. Come back to warrior two. Arms strong. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step left foot back to meet right. Let's start on the right side this time. Shoulders over wrists. Right foot, same height as your hip. Release. Keep left foot flexed as you lift. Release. And then lower down. Shoulders loop. Exhale, soften. And then let's come back to child's pose. Arms can be forward or back behind you with knuckles to the earth. If you can, ground your forehead on either the earth or maybe even the tops of your hands. And just pause for a moment. Notice the patterns of your breath. Become aware of your vitality, your aliveness. The glisten of our sweat. Just another reminder of our ability to move and be with our body. All right, stretch your hands forward. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. And walk your hands to the front of the mat. Inhale your hands halfway up. Press your palms into your shins. Exhale, fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale up halfway. Weight comes towards the front of your feet. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to fold. 1 more time. Inhale up halfway. Spine long, shoulder blades move down towards your hips. Exhale, soften. Now let's bring your thumbs to your hip creases. Bend your knees a lot. Press your hips back. Reach your heart forward. And then reach your heart up as you come to standing. Ooh, all right. Hands to your sides. Inhale, both arms above your head. You can't see my hands, but grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and press down through your right foot as you lean up and over to the left. Another side stretch here, shoulder opener. Come back to center, grab a hold of your left wrist, pull your left arm up. So you bend over to your right, press down a lot through your left foot. And then come back to center. Release your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Knuckles reach down. Sternum reaches up. Another bend in the knees. Hinge forward from your hips. Arms come up and over. Relax your neck. Shake your head yes and no. Hands come down to the mat. There's no core in today's class because we worked it into our namaskars. So let's step back into downward dog and get started with our first wave. Let's take another grounding, cleansing breath. Deeply inhale. And then exhale out your mouth. That felt great. Let's do another one. Wonderful. Okay, big toes come together. Breathe and then lift your right leg. Inhale, hips open. Bend at your right knee. Press your left heel down, right knee up. Shoulders stay square to the front of the mat, so it's about your hip rather than your back. 1 more breath. And then exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest slowly. Lift from center, shift forward. Place your left foot between your hands. So there's going to be a little bit of following me here. Sweep your right hand along the horizon as you turn both of your feet to face the right side. I know some of you are like, wait a minute, hold on, what's what here? So I'm going to give you all a second to get there. And then make sure that your left hand is a little bit forward. So your right foot is in front of you, about in line with your hip. Left leg is strong and your left foot is flexed. Let's inhale, press into both feet. Right arm comes up and over. Exhale, sweep your hand back towards your back foot. Lower your hips towards the earth. Inhale, press into both feet. Lift your hips. Reach forward, side stretch on the right. Exhale, side stretch on the left and your hip. Good. Inhale, press down, rise. We'll go back 1 more time. Lower your hips. On the next inhale, we'll turn towards the front of the mat. Place your hand on the earth and lower your back foot. You might need to move your foot. We're going to walk it towards the front of the mat and bring both hands on the inside of our right foot. So I'm going to give options. You can stay in low lunge with shoulders over your wrists, or maybe you want to walk your right foot out to the edge of the mat, tip out from your right hip, And that can bring a different kind of sensation. It just depends on what you're feeling today. And then some of you may even want to turn towards your open hip knee a little bit. So your left shoulder shrugs up slightly, which is usually kind of a no-no, but can feel really good on your hip flexor that's towards the mat. So if that feels like it makes sense to you, go for it. If it doesn't, either of those two options are so perfect. We'll be here for just another breath or two. And let's come back to square our shoulders off to the center. Come through half splits, just passing through. And you'll bring your left heel inwards. So as we keep our hips going towards the back of the mat, your left foot is in towards your hips here. Then you're going to stretch your right foot out, your right leg out. So you're in kind of like a half splits type of a thing here. So what I want you to do is really flex your right foot and point your toes up. There'll be a tendency for it to want to roll back or even maybe forward depending on your hips, but keep it pointed straight up. Take your fingertips behind you, lift your heart, and come forward just enough so you're lengthening your back, almost like you would do in cow pose, and start to hinge forward. You want to keep your spine long, so if this is enough for you, stay here. But if you want to keep going further, and you can without compromising the length of your spine, you might bring your hands out, like maybe in a seal pose kind of variation, or even out and down to your forearms. We'll be here for a few breaths, so find something that allows you to feel stretch, but isn't, terribly traumatic. Keep your right foot flexed. Notice if your knees pointed up or rolling in. Maintain your breath. Maintain your connection to mind and body. Let's take one more breath here. Begin to walk your hands back in towards you. We'll come to hands and knees. And then let's come into plank. Come straight down to the mat with control. One cobra pose, feet pressed down and back, knees lift, back of your neck is long. Open your heart and release. Come back to downward dog. Lift your left leg back and up. Open up through your hips, bend at your left knee. Knee presses up, right heel down. Reminder to square your shoulders. You're going to feel the back of your leg lengthen. Feel the expansion in your hips. This is one of my favorite things to do. Now carefully, slowly bring your knee through center on an exhale. Pull your knee up towards your chest using your strong core. Shift forward and place your left foot by your left hand. Left hand now sweeps across the horizon. You may have to move your left foot a bit so it's in line with your right hip. So we'll do that same thing here again. I'll give you a couple of seconds to get situated. Right hand in front of right shoulder to help give you some lift up. Let's start by lifting up and over with our left arm. Press down to your right hand to lift your hips. Exhale, hips lower down. Left hand reaches back. Again, up and over. Use your feet and your core as part of this. And release. Two more. Back leg really strong and straight as you can get it. Exhale, last time back. One more time, we'll come forward, pivot, and ground your back knee. Left foot inches forward, both hands on the inside of your left foot. So same options, we'll go through them one more time. You can stay here in low lunge, shoulders over your wrists, or walk your left foot out to the side and turn to the knife edge of your left foot. Stop here, or maybe turn with your shoulders towards your left knee, and your right hip moves more towards the earth. You feel a little more stretch through your psoas. This is great for those of us that do a lot of sitting or maybe biking, cycling, to stretch those muscles out. Just a couple more breaths here. And then let's come back to center. Passing through. Did I forget something? No. Okay. Passing through half splits to come all the way back. Bring your right foot on the inside and your left leg then carefully moves out to the left side. So right knee is pointed one way, left foot out the other one. Left knee is pointed straight up, left foot point up. Press your fingertips behind you to lift your seat. Lengthen your spine forward and then reach forward with your heart. You may be feeling enough here to stop, but you may also want to take your hands out if your spine stays long and your knee stays up, or maybe even come down to thy forearms. Stay here and breathe for a moment. See if you can keep the connection you have been cultivating with your mind and your body. Stay tuned in with the various sensations, however intense or subtle they are. The key is not always to make everything deep and intense. The key is just to become aware. One more breath here. And then we'll pull ourselves back up to seated. Instead of coming into our plank vinyasa, we're going to take Baddha Konasana, bring both of the soles of your feet together. And we'll do something very similar to what we just did before we head into our final peak pose, which you'll need your strap or strap-like object for, so keep it handy. Same thing here. Press into your fingertips, lift through your heart, and then hinge from your hips, reaching your heart forward. You could grab a hold of your feet with your thumbs on the insides of the soles of your feet. I kind of like to do that and then use my elbows to press my knees down, because I notice that my right hip is always a little bit tighter. So those are always just interesting things for us to observe without passing any judgments. Just be here for a moment, enjoying the subtle or intense sensations of Baddha Konasana, bound angled pose. See if you can, if this is easy for you, see if you can lower down any further. Keep thinking about reaching your heart and hips in the opposite directions. Now let's come back up to a seated position, and we'll take our final peak pose by stretching your right leg out just like we did, toes pointed straight up. Now you'll take your strap in your left hand, and you can create a loop in any fashion. It doesn't have to be, the special way with using the metal part, just any sort of loop here. and you're going to hook it around your right foot with your left hand. Then slide your right hand towards your right foot. I've got the back of my right hand on the mat for now. Then you're going to take your left elbow up as you turn open. Left ribs rolled back, and you've got a big side opener here. I've got quite a bit of room that I can go to reach towards my foot. And some of you might be able to even grab your foot. If you do, you'll grab the top of it and turn open, but you'll notice that when I do that, I'm still turned towards the earth quite a bit. So I prefer to have a strap to help me find that expansion so I'm not rolled towards the ground. Keep your right foot flexed so that you're feeling stretch through your right hamstring as well as your right side body and right hip and shoulders, I'm sure for most of you too. If it's possible, use your right hand to grab a hold of the inside of your right foot. And then maybe, just maybe, you're open enough to grab a hold of your foot with your left hand. One more breath here. Oh, and then carefully release your foot. Let's come back through the center slowly. And then press ourselves back up to seated. Ooh, that was a lot. Bring your right foot in and then left foot out. Loop up your left foot with your right hand. Slide your left arm down the inside of your left leg, starting with your palm up, working its way towards your left ankle. And then you use your strap to create this turn, open, expansion, and you can keep pulling your hand down the strap towards your foot. Right ribs roll back, left foot keeps flexing towards the sky. Gaze up. Give your armpit a sniff. Maybe grab a hold of your foot if you feel like you've been able to find enough expansion. And if you've got your foot, your right hand is over the top of your left foot, and your left hand is grabbing a hold of the inside of your left foot, which is a little awkward, but it's there. One more breath. And let's release the strap, turn towards the earth, slowly, slowly. Walk your hands towards the middle, and then back to center. You can move your block, your strap aside. Bring both of your feet in front of you. And gently roll back to the earth. Let's bring your knees in towards your chest. Ooh, actually, let's do this. Let's do this one. Keep your left leg out long. Pull your right knee in towards your chest. Take a couple of rolls with your ankle. And then guide your right knee across your body over to the right. Stretch your arm out, your right arm out from your right shoulder, and gently, just as if they're to comfort your right knee, but not press or force, place your left hand on your right knee. Start to let go and release yourself into the earth. Really focusing on the downward movement of energy. Bring your right knee into your chest. Let's stretch your right leg out. Pull your left knee in. Couple of circles with your left ankle in both directions. And then the same thing, guide your left knee across your body. Left arm reaches out, right hand to the left knee. Soften through your lower back. Pay attention to the places where your body makes contact with your mat. Bring both knees back into center. Wrap your arms around your shins for Apanasana seed pose. Release your lower back, feel heavy through your hips. Maybe rock subtly if that feels soothing to you. Then release your legs out long. Setting up for Shavasana, palms open, roll your shoulders underneath your body. If this creates any tension in your lower back, bend your knees, take your feet wide, and bring your knees together. Find what's right for you today, and begin to settle effortlessly into the spaces between your thoughts. Without opening your eyes, bring your awareness back into the space around you. Take a deep breath. Begin to take small movements, starting with the perimeter of your body, fingers and toes. On your next inhale, lift your arms above your head and stretch from fingertips to toe tips. On an exhale, bend at your knees, roll to one side using your bicep as a pillow, and pause for just a moment to observe the conditions of your mind. How might this space be a lens through which you see the rest of your day? And press yourself up to seated, palms together. Sit at the top of your mat, lifting through the crown of your head, much like we did as we started this class. Thank you for showing up for yourselves, for each other. Thank you to all the yogis who came before us, gave us the opportunity to have this practice. May you and all living things be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with strength and ease. Namaste.